बैठ जी, अच्छा नहीं लग रहा कुर्सी पर बैठ. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Sayyidina Muhammad. So before we start, I'm going to request Dr. Yasir Qadi to do the dua, and the etiquettes would be of the meeting, and question answer will be at the end, inshallah.
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. اللهم بارك لنا، اللهم افتحنا من بركاتك، اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا، اللهم ارزقنا الإخلاص والهدى والتقى، اللهم اجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى، اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم، وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم.
Jazakallah khair. So inshallah we're going to start. As Ashar Bhai have mentioned earlier, the membership that we have is 2085 or something, so that 1/3 of it is 500 some numbers. So obviously we didn't have the quorum. We adjourned the meeting, but also Constitution requires you to reconvene, which we did, and we decided inshallah at least those who are present here that you took the time to come and see what we have to present. So Jazakallah khair for your time that you came on the weekend. So inshallah we're going to begin. We first always thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all the blessings that we have upon all of us, and especially to this masjid, to this community. And also I always say that, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for me and all of us being Muslim. Like Sheikh Yasir have mentioned many times, and I know how it is, those who come into the fold of Islam versus born Muslim. It's a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for that. We thank all the volunteers, that those are the basically bloodline of this masjid. You have seen many committees, and all of us have one in some capacity that we have volunteered and contributed to this masjid. So Jazakallah khair. As the agenda, this is the one that we have sent out to the community. Basically, we had the quorum verification, which we did. Dr. Yasir have done the dua. And our presentation, it says 30 minutes. We'll try to get into 30 minutes because there are many slides. Obviously, having so many committees that we have many slides for each committee. We might not be able to get into the details of all the committees' program, but inshallah, we will post this PowerPoint into our notice board for you to see, and you may have any question at later time. You can always reach out to any one of us, inshallah, that I will be able to answer it. Obviously, going back to the quorum, no matter what time of the day that we choose and whatnot, we carefully thought that we're having a weekend, and this is, so mashallah, same thing happened in the last general body meeting. The quorum was not met, but we moved on with some presentation. Ji. Right, so that's something that we can, yeah. So we'll have that consideration, inshallah. Yeah. No, we definitely can take that consideration. Is it about the quorum and timing?
My suggestion that we had at the previous masjid, we said 20% or 100 people, whichever is less.
We cannot put the, we cannot, no, just to clarify on that one, this is on the Constitution. And the numbers and the directives and all of that is in the Constitution. You cannot change that. There is a way to change the Constitution, and that requires 2/3 of the majority. That would be, what kind of number we're talking about? 1,500-1,600 people to come and change the Constitution. And I hope the community will participate. You know, we don't have 500 people to come. You know, we signed up 2,100 people. So anyways, so inshallah we can look for it, for the timing. And then we can have the question and answer is by writing. You can write the questions, and then we can take it, inshallah, a few of them. So go next one, inshallah. This is the update of the money in our hand right now. Okay, the numbers are there for you to see. The construction, we still have 80,000. Operation, we have 108,000. Sadaqah, 75,000, and can read the zakat is 89, and cemetery is 190. Cemetery is, if you all know that Collin County Massages, and they have came up with this Farmersville Cemetery, and every masjid is participating into that program. We are all supporting that project. And EPIC had, currently we had almost 450,000 that we add the project to send, because the project is progressing. They have the land, they're developing right now. They're going to go into the construction phase and whatnot. So as of now that we have promised, or the share of the EPIC, mashallah, EPIC as well as the West Point, these are two big masajid. Our responsibility is to reach 450, so we have 190,000 so far. Mashallah, this community have donated towards that project. So this is explicitly for that project, inshallah. That's what and they are asking for that number to be given back to them. So we'll inshallah give it back to Collin County. ISCC Masjid is leading the project, but there's a team of volunteers. Also, EPIC also participated into that program. Next. This is, there's a lot of numbers here. You could see these are basically our income, different sources of income, and this is for the second quarter of 2019. The first quarter and the last 2 quarters of 2018, every quarter we publish into the notice board. For general body, we have it for second quarter of 2019. So this is April, May, and June, second quarter. You could read the numbers, and the number is going to be available to you. If you have any question, you can make a note right now, and we can come back to it, inshallah, to answer it. But these are the different sources of areas that the money come. Mostly, you can see is the donation that, mashallah, that you contribute to this masjid. Okay, we can go next slide, inshallah. Similarly, these are the numbers that the way that our sales force have reported and captured the numbers. We did not adjust the numbers. Whichever way the sales force system that we have in place generate the numbers each month. So that was the time when it was reported. So, for example, there could be an invoice that maybe for perhaps in April, January, but it hasn't come to the finance office until May or June, so we would not be able to report it. So the numbers are as they came to the system. Okay, so these are the expenses for each month. So they may vary. It doesn't mean that they were different from month to month. They may be different from month to month, but if the invoice did not make it to that month, it would not be able to. We would not be able to report it. Okay. You can go to the next slide, inshallah. Okay, this one is also our expense, and you could see. Sorry. So that was the May. Obviously, you could see just the highlight of the May, which is being the Ramadan. We had the net income of 383, 461. Riyad bhai? 63. Okay. Right. So obviously we become very generous in the month of Ramadan, so we donate generously to the masjid. So that's why the May is higher than any other month. Okay. Always, Jazakallah khair for your support of this masjid. I mean, the masjid runs with the operation of your contributions. Alhamdulillah. Next. So on this financial, basically, we are in the process, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to have a financial audit for the year. So what we saw last few slides, those were the quarter, but for the entire year, we'll have an audit done, inshallah ta'ala. That's basically to reconcile all the costs and expenses only for the operation account. Only for the operation account. So we will have an audit done on that one, inshallah. Next. These are some of the highlights that basically captures the overall operation and our visions and our goal and where we headed. I could take one at a time very quickly. For example, completion of the constructions. Obviously, the community center is, mashallah, built. Jazakallah khair. I would say the previous board that they undertook the major share of the project, building this community center and bringing it to, and then alhamdulillah we had a little opportunity to participate and finish it. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the previous boards and all of those who participated, and obviously the community who have contributed to bring the project into a reality. Especially I would like to thank Junaid bhai. It always come in my mind that mashallah his contributions in every level was great into that one. So that project have completed. The good news on this one is that we have zero debt. That means everything is alhamdulillah paid off. We owe nothing to nobody. That's a big one. Takbir. Yeah, we don't have any loans. Everything's all alhamdulillah taken care of. Process, policies of the community center. This may sound very simple, but I want to take a few minutes into this one. There are almost 32 plus volunteers. Pretty much every committee have contributed to make this team. And their job for this team was called ECC team, Epic Community, use this facility that will come. And this team started working way before the gymnasium and things were ready for us. So I really wanted to thank those brothers, and I don't know if there was an assistant on that, but that team have done a marvelous job. This is the only masjid that we know that have this system in place. How we're going to use it, what time we're going to use it, scheduling is a huge issue. We have all kinds of variety of ages, sisters and brothers, to make sure the same facility is available to all of us. Also, because of the things that they have in place, we have an ID card, you all have seen it, that gives us an extra protection, making sure the right people are coming and using the facility and whatnot. Alhamdulillah, so far we have zero incidents of any kind of injury or bullying and whatnot that goes on, because we prioritize. That's very important that when our children and our family members or our sisters are coming here, they're in a safe environment and making sure that they're not being influenced or bullied by anybody else. Okay, so this is a great work. Huge amount of work that went on the back end for this team, that they have done many meetings, and they came up with these procedures and policies for us. Alhamdulillah. So jazakallah khair. Land acquisition, we all know this is there are some brothers here from our pioneers. This is something that a dream that we had, that we always wanted to get that land. It's a small piece of land, but somehow that everybody have felt it was incomplete. MashaAllah, the previous boards, Salahuddin Bhai is here. We always wanted to, but the masjid, the gymnasium, and this and that. So we never could this initiative, and we were able to get that piece of land. Those who know, or you may have inquired, the prices of the land at one point it was $1.4, $1.8 million. That's what they were asking for, because everybody was inquiring. So prices went up, and alhamdulillah, we were able to get for almost 630 some thousand and plus some cost. I want to thank those brothers. There was a few brothers sitting here, mashallah. They helped in some or other capacity too, because